Imagine a small fish swimming against a current so strong it seems impossible to move forward. Every flick of its fins is a battle, while massive rocks and branches constantly stand in its way. Now think about this, how many times have you felt the same? A small, yet determined being, facing a force far greater than yourself. In today's video, we're diving into why it's so challenging to be the fish swimming upstream, and what that has to do with your life. You might realize that your struggles, much like that fish's journey, are more common and transformative than they seem. Life's current comes in many forms. For the fish, it's a literal raging river, water rushing toward what seems like the only possible destination. For us humans, the current is more subtle but just as powerful. It shows up in society's expectations, the opinions of others, and the predefined standards of success that push us toward the right path. How many times have you asked yourself, do I really want to go this way, or am I just being swept along? Like the fish, struggling to reach a place where the water is calmer or richer with nutrients, we're also searching for something greater, a purpose, a direction that truly makes sense to us. But unlike the fish, we have complex choices to make. The question is it worth fighting the current, or would it be easier to simply go with the flow? The truth is, whether for the fish or for us, swimming against the current requires strength, resilience, and a clear reason to keep going. Yet, this struggle can bring unique rewards, a purpose that aligns with who we really are and, perhaps, a more authentic life. In this video, we'll explore how nature's lessons can help us better understand our relationship with life's current. We'll talk about the lonely effort it often takes, what truly drives us, the risks and rewards of going against the flow, and even when it might be time to let go and drift. Are you ready to discover what it means to be the fish that chooses its own path? The lonely struggle, why swimming against the current is so exhausting. Picture a lone fish in a river, battling the force of the water. Schools of fish around it glide effortlessly with the flow, while this one, against all odds, swims in the opposite direction. But why does it do this? Maybe it sees something others don't. Maybe, on that path, there's something no other fish has noticed. This struggle, however, is anything but easy. The weight of loneliness is heavy. It faces disapproving glances, physical resistance, and the exhaustion of swimming against forces much greater than itself. Now think about this, how many times have you been in a similar situation? Choosing a different path often means giving up the comfort of following the crowd. It means carrying the weight of doubt, the fear of being wrong, and sometimes the lack of support. The fish's journey reminds us that in moments of resistance, rewards are rarely immediate. Even so, they come to those who have the courage to persist. The strength needed to fight the current isn't just physical, it's emotional. It's in this effort that we grow, learn, and discover who we truly are. So, the next time you feel like you're swimming against the tide, remember this, it's in that lonely struggle that the greatest transformations take place. What really drives the fish? What compels a fish to defy the power of the current? Is it purely instinct, or something deeper? When we reflect on ourselves, we see that the answer goes beyond mere survival. We're driven by dreams, convictions, and values that resonate with our very essence. The fish swimming against the current might be propelled by something invisible to us, perhaps an instinct to find safer waters or a desire to uncover something unique. In human life, this translates into the ongoing pursuit of authenticity. Viktor Frankl, author of Man's Search for Meaning, reminds us that our true motivation isn't just the pursuit of pleasure or safety but the need to find purpose. Like the fish, we're often guided by something that others may not understand but that feels profoundly meaningful to us. Think about the last time you felt compelled to do something that seemed challenging or even impossible. Was it easy? Probably not. But there was an inner force, a why, that pushed you forward. It's this why that sets us apart, that keeps us going even when everything seems to pull us back. Perhaps, deep down, we're all like that fish, driven by a dream that's worth every effort, every battle, and every moment of doubt. The real question is, have you found your why? Resistance as a transformative force. Swimming against the current is exhausting, but there's something magical that happens in the process. The fish grows stronger. Its muscles adapt, its endurance increases, and it discovers capabilities that once seemed impossible. In the end, it's not just the destination that matters, but who it becomes along the way. In human life, facing resistance works the same way. Think of an athlete training under tough conditions or someone overcoming emotional challenges and emerging more resilient. At first, the pressure can feel overwhelming, but it's precisely what shapes our inner strength. Ralph Waldo Emerson, one of the leading voices of transcendentalism, once wrote, "What lies behind you and what lies in front of you pales in comparison to what lies within you." This inner strength is activated when we resist the current of conformity, societal expectations, and even our own fears. Just as the fish learns to channel the river's force to its advantage, we too can transform resistance into growth. Every challenge we overcome prepares us for the next, and with each battle we fight, we grow a little more. It's not about winning every fight but about leaving each one with something that makes us better. And you? How are you turning the resistance you face into strength? Perhaps it's time to see your challenges as the current that will build the muscles you'll need for the larger rivers ahead. Society as the river, are its waters always fair? Society is often like the river in which the fish swims. It has its own currents, guiding us where we're supposed to go, or at least, where it thinks we should. The river, much like social norms, creates an invisible pressure that pushes us in a predetermined direction. This raises an important question: are these waters truly fair for everyone? Nietzsche, in his philosophy, challenged the idea of social morality and the imposition of societal standards on human life. He believed that achieving true authenticity required swimming against the current of conventional morality. Society often tries to shape us with arbitrary rules, forcing us onto a path that, in the end, may not be the best for the individual. Zygmunt Bauman, on the other hand, speaks about the fluidity of modern life, where rigid social norms have been replaced by an endless quest for change. In this sense, society becomes an increasingly turbulent river, where the notions of right and wrong are no longer clear. It's in this fluid and chaotic landscape that many of us find ourselves, unsure of the best direction to take. The fish swimming against the current can be seen as someone who questions these societal flows. It seeks something only it can define, something beyond the current. Society doesn't always offer a fair course, but the real journey might be about finding our own direction within these murky waters. Risks and rewards: is it worth swimming against the current? When a fish decides to swim against the current, it takes on a significant risk. The effort is physically, emotionally, and mentally draining. But if we think about it, every great achievement in human history has been built on the foundation of risk. The determination of those who refuse to go with the flow, who choose to be the challenger, carries with it a unique reward, the chance to achieve something groundbreaking, something truly transformative. Think of the great figures in history, people like Albert Einstein, who broke away from the scientific conventions of his time to propose theories that were initially ridiculed. Or figures like Rosa Parks, who, by challenging the social norms of racial segregation, became a symbol of courage. They, much like the fish defying the current, risked everything for what they believed to be a greater truth. And what did they find along the way? Rewards, not only for themselves but for society as a whole. Of course, risk never comes without its consequences. The fish swimming against the current might lose energy, it might even feel like it's heading in the wrong direction for a while. But with every movement, every effort, it comes closer to its goal, becoming stronger, more authentic, and truer to itself. So, the question remains, is it worth taking the risks of swimming against the current? The answer is unique for each of us. But deep down, the real reward lies in the lessons learned and the growth experienced throughout the journey. When is it time to flow with the current? Not every battle needs to be fought. Not every river needs to be challenged. Sometimes, true wisdom lies in recognizing when to flow with the current instead of resisting it. This may seem contradictory after so much discussion about resistance, but life isn't solely about struggle. There's a balance, and this balance is just as crucial as fighting adversity. Taoist philosophy, with the concept of Wu Wei, teaches exactly this: to act without force, to align with the natural flow of things. Instead of constantly swimming against the current, there are moments when wisdom lies in realizing that by flowing with the waters, we can find peace and harmony. The fish that endlessly battles the current is, in the end, needlessly exhausting itself. Knowing when to rest, when to allow oneself to be carried, is also part of the process. Of course, this doesn't mean giving up entirely. It doesn't mean we should blindly follow the current. Instead, it means understanding when resistance is necessary and when acceptance can bring greater growth. It's not about surrendering, it's about discerning the right moment to pause and realizing that sometimes, flowing with the current leads us to unexpected and even deeper places. So, the question here isn't just about fighting against or flowing with, but about finding the wisdom to choose the most meaningful path at each moment of our journey. Inspiring stories of those who swam against the current. Sometimes, there's nothing more motivating than seeing someone face turbulent waters and remain steadfast in their struggle. These stories not only inspire us but also teach us about resilience, courage, and the power of persistence. Let's take a closer look at some historical figures who challenged their own currents, defied the odds, and emerged stronger. Take Galileo Galilei, for example, the scientist who dared to challenge the geocentric view of the world. In his time, the idea that Earth wasn't the center of the universe was considered heresy. Yet Galileo stood firm in his convictions, and his groundbreaking discoveries revolutionized science. His resistance to outdated beliefs reminds us that pursuing the truth often means fighting a lonely battle. Another powerful example is Rosa Parks. By refusing to give up her seat on a bus, she defied not just a law but an entire system of social inequality. She stood against the current of racial discrimination and, in doing so, became an icon in the fight for civil rights. Her courage shows us that resistance has the power to ignite profound societal change. These stories remind us that while swimming against the current can be exhausting and challenging, the rewards of such struggles can transform the world around us. If these individuals hadn't refused to go with the flow, we might never have experienced the freedoms and progress we enjoy today. So now the question is, who do you want to be in the story? The fish that goes with the flow or the one that defies the waters? Who do you choose to be in the river of life? Throughout this video, we've explored the complexities of life through the metaphor of the fish swimming against the current. We've seen how resisting the flow can be challenging yet transformative. Despite the exhaustion, facing life's difficulties head-on can shape us in powerful ways and take us to incredible places. But we've also discussed the wisdom of knowing when to flow with the current, when rest and acceptance are necessary to move forward. Now, here's the final reflection: who do you choose to be in the river of life? Will you be the fish that tirelessly fights each current, challenging the waters with courage and determination? Or will you be the one who, with wisdom, picks the right moments to resist and the right moments to flow, moving without haste, without burden? Life is full of highs and lows, moments of struggle, and moments of calm. There's no simple answer to which path you should take. What matters most is being mindful of your choices, aware of your own rivers, and knowing when to resist and when to let go. Striking the right balance between these forces may be the key to living a fulfilling and meaningful life. If you're currently facing a difficult current, remember, you're not alone. Each of us, at some point, finds ourselves battling the flow. And who knows? You might inspire others to swim alongside you. Leave a comment below and share which current you're challenging today. You might just inspire the next fish to take the plunge. See you in the next video.